Welcome back, everybody, to Brain Training on iCRV Radio. We have Bob Gold, who comes to us from GoMo Health. He's kind of steering and piloting our journey and all things brain-related, with particular focus on the brain-to-body connectivity and getting the most out of our brains, out of our bodies, getting those desired results. Today, the program is all about the cancer journey, and we're talking to two amazing specialists. Dr. Chevon Rairy, she comes to us from Oncology Care Partners, and Dr. Hamza Habib from the Rutgers Cancer Institute of New Jersey, where he serves as Director of Outpatient Palliative Medicine and Cancer Pain Service. Bob, we started something before we get into more conversation with these amazing guests. Let's play some games.
Yeah, keeping your mind active, especially in situations where you may be ruminating and focusing it, like I take time to do Wordle every day, as an example. And we talked about techniques a little while ago, breathing, music, walking. So I'm going to give Dave a little brain game here, and we'll see how he does. All right. So here's the question of the day, Dave. 4 cars come to a 4-way stop. They all go forward at the same time. They go, but they don't crash. How?
They're all turning right.
You got it. All right. Very good.
Doctors, did you guys have that one?
No, sorry.
No. No.
Hamza, you may have to go for a 4th degree now.
I think I need one on traffic now.
Yes, exactly. So let me, just speaking of brain games and some of the techniques. So developed a protocol for people called MILD, micro-learning and micro-doing. And the idea is it's supportive of your lifestyle, not interruptive. And actually, the protocols that both Chevon and Hamza use and with their healthcare professionals and their digital health use this technique. So here's my recommendation to everyone. Take time to do these brain training games and other techniques we talked about. So put them into your routine so they form a schedule, right? Make it consistent, right? Just like going to the gym. Repetition starts to build confidence day by day. And that starts to change your daily outlook. So, in summary, focus on how you are able to accomplish these tasks to help your mind, body on a daily basis, and less ruminating on the future, right? So just feel good about what you do every day and build them into your routines. Very, very important.
Hey, I have a question for you, for our two experts. And my experience has all just been personal experience with family and friends. Two questions that I can't escape, actually, that I'll just pose to you. Does managing the pain get more difficult in the kind of opioid pandemic that we're all still confronted with? So are there issues there? And the second is it just me, or is the patient's network of support often overlooked? I mean, my sister painlessly and tirelessly dealt with 9 years of dealing with my father. He took over her whole world, and no one ever asked how she was doing, except occasionally her brothers. But so it's a two-part question: is providing the right relief for pain more difficult in today's world? And then the second is the support network often overlooked?
I can answer the first part of that question for sure. And as a pain doctor, I mean, I'll tell you that pain management has gone through many ups and downs over the last 15, 20 years. There was a point about 15, 20 years ago when prescribing narcotic pain medications was something that was not very regulated, and there were not a lot of compliance requirements that unfortunately led to multiple things, and currently we have an opioid epidemic. It was a national emergency as well. And over this time period, I mean, we have learned, and And there have been a lot of policy-based changes that have happened. And one of the biggest ones was the 2016 DEA guideline as to how to prescribe. And they gave us clinicians a guideline as to what to look for, what regulatory requirements are there, checking different backgrounds on opioid use, asking certain questions, providing certain things like naloxone, which is an opioid reversal agent in opioid overdose situations. It asked us to basically look at multiple things before prescribing opioids. Thankfully, in cancer pain, this is not as big of an issue, but yes, there are definitely newer regulations that change the ability or the requirements that are needed to basically provide patients with opioid pain medications. It also provides us guidelines as to when to stop, how to decrease, what other options are there for pain management. So patients don't feel that we can only manage pain by narcotic opioid pain medications. We can do injections, we can do nerve blocks, we can do other medications, holistic treatments, integrative treatments. One of the things that Bob said, deep breathing, music, stretching, all those things are amazing for pain management.
You know, it's interesting in how people view their pain. Someone can have the same amount of pain, and if they really focus on some of these other techniques and managing the brain, it won't impact them as much in their daily life. And it's interesting, you know, uncertainty and fear and stress cause people to make decisions that are not always best just to eliminate the uncertainty. So I think what Hamza and Chevon do in their protocols is they help people with what to expect next. And that includes Dave's question on the family. A lot of times the family can't be there at all the meetings. Maybe they don't live close to the appointments, but they want to help, right? So for those lucky enough to have a family, cancer and many health conditions is a family challenge, right? So what to help the person eat and exercise and movement and how to help them, but they also go through stress. Now, an interesting fact is caregivers who are helping a patient, a loved one, if they're under stress, their cost goes up $2,000 a year, medical costs, and so does the patient, right? In addition to other outcomes. So what we do in both of these programs with the digital therapeutic that they're using is we nurture a loved one to sign up. So they're getting information in two ways, what to expect of what your loved one's going to go through so they can help them, and also addressing their own anxiety and stress. Because if I'm helping my dad, you know, I may have a family and other issues myself. So that's important. And I think, Chevon, I imagine you've noticed a lot of that in your work.
Yes, absolutely. And to echo what you all have said, I think the caregivers are an important component of a cancer patient's journey. Whether they're providing physical support, psychological support, information, social support, there's so many aspects to the support they provide, but we also can't forget the stress and support they themselves would need. I think the other important point to consider is, especially in the patients that we see at Oncology Care Partners, where they're older adults, they may not have the support that one would want or one would consider. Their family may be out of town, as you mentioned, or live further away, or they may not have anyone nearby or close. And so certainly, how we've addressed that is, in addition to the support that Bob was speaking about of the digital experience, where we're providing insights on a weekly basis for patients to get more education about their program and have an interaction to express some of the symptoms that they're feeling. We have escalations to a human-to-human component as well, our oncology nurses, and certainly I'll share with you a story. One of the first patients who was enrolled into our program that was both high touch and high tech had a pretty significant relationship with our oncology nurses. She lived alone. She was 86 years old. She had a diagnosis of cancer that she was experiencing for the past 2 years of breast cancer, and she was being treated for it. And she hadn't told her extended family who hadn't lived there with her. She had no conversations with her family to let them know of her diagnosis. And she expressed this to one of our oncology nurses, late in the evening, 3 a.m. call. She also had anxiety and difficulty sleeping. And so she'd had now a partner to reach out to. And on those, multiple 3 a.m. calls, our oncology nurses were very astute in recognizing the importance of support, not only providing it to her, but convincing her to extend her diagnosis, the awareness of her diagnosis, to her extended family and the benefit they could provide. And so that was an important step in this patient's journey as well.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And in my world, that term would be cathartic. Your nurses convinced her to share what she's going through, which is cathartic for her. And speaking of cathartic, and given this is a radio show, music sort of reflects our society, what people go through, their mental state, their physical state. And I think we're going to play a segment of a new song that deals with uncertainty, fear, and the cancer journey right now.
The flip of a coin, day after day, no matter what I do, it lands its own way. The chemo is scary, fear in my soul, the going's tough, I need my self-control. I got my body, I got my mind, I got my spirit, I'm gonna shine. I got my chemistry, the rhythm in my bones, the best thing that I own, the song that brings me home. All of the days, the fun times I've had, all the ups and downs, the good and the bad. I feel just like a boat, blown round in a storm, but I'll always remember what I'm fighting for.
Bob, you know this song pretty well?
Yeah, Hamza and Chevon, you don't know this. I wrote the lyrics to this song, and hopefully you're going to hear the full song. And a gal by the name of an unheralded singer named Jamie Copa sings the song. And
That's amazing.
Yeah. I wrote it a few years ago, and now we're going to get it live. But it's really, to kind of wrap up, it's sort of a fight song. And that's what people need to do, the types of things they can do with them and their family out there. Use some of the brain training techniques we talked about today and fight through it, right? And it takes a lot of practice, but that's how you develop and foster resiliency. So let's just get some closing remarks from Chevon and then Hamza.
Well, first off, I would just like to thank you for having me on the show. I think it's been such an incredible conversation and really highlights the need for resiliency in any of our life challenges. The closing remarks I would leave you all with is understanding that a cancer diagnosis is truly a diagnosis that rocks the entire person, the entire family, and really the ecosystem. And so we need to create a model of care that supports the entire person and the entire ecosystem in a way that is reasonable. And I'm just feel very blessed to be part of a team and to be part of a shift in almost a paradigm shift where we're able to take this technology revolution, if you will, and apply it to transform the cancer experience, which we've discussed is all too common. And so very excited for the future and what the future holds for our cancer those individuals experiencing cancer and those cancer survivors as well. So thank you for having me.
And Chevon, I give you credit on resiliency because not only did you tell the story about what affected your family and cancer, you've moved 3 times since I've known you in the last few years with all your kids. So
Yes.
thank you for being on today. And Hamza, what are some remarks from you?
No, Bob, thank you so much for having me. I think that you guys are doing amazing work for us, our patients, and for the community and everyone in healthcare system. This is such an important topic. I mean, physical health is something that we always focus upon, but mental health and everything that comes with a cancer diagnosis is something that we kind of overlook at times. So thank you so much for doing that. And on the other hand, I mean, I'm so thankful to be in New Jersey. I mean, I work at Rutgers Cancer Institute of New Jersey, which is New Jersey's only comprehensive cancer care system that is designated by NCI. We have amazing teams and amazing services that we provide for our patients, excellent collaborative care that we do with oncologists, surgical oncologists, gynecological oncologists, social workers, nutritionists, physical therapists. I mean, I'll lose my breath, but our team is very broad, and they are just wonderful at what they do for our patients. So that's one. But most importantly, I want to thank our patient and tell them how brave they are for going through their journey, for going through these difficult diagnoses. I mean, I want to tell them that they're never alone. I mean, obviously they have their families, but as clinicians, we are there in this journey with them to support them, to guide them, to help them, and also to learn from them, learn from their experiences to improve our future patient care. So kudos to everyone who's fighting, who continues to basically provide us with an kind of like an incentive to do better ourselves. So our patients are just amazing. Thank you.
Well, the world needs more people like Chevon and Hamza. Thank you so much for your participation.
And our listeners, if they wanted to reach out, Chevon, they could reach you at Oncology Care Partners, social platforms, or anything like that?
Yes, absolutely. Feel free, absolutely, you can reach me through Oncology Care Partners. We have a LinkedIn and a website as well, and look forward to any communication. And as Hamza said, we always are excited and interested in learning from our patients and learning from others. So thank you.
And you can reach out to Dr. Habib at the Rutgers Cancer Institute website of New Jersey website as well, and follow him on his path for yet another degree. I'm sure.
No, I'm good.
She'll
I'm
be
good.
updated.
You'll be good.
So appreciate you joining us. And Bob, of course, people wanted to learn more, they can go to GoMoHealth.com.
Yeah, and we even have GoMoMusic.com to hear about how we create music for the biorhythms of the body. So GoMoHealth.com and GoMoMusic.com.
I love the music you just launched on this program. GoMoHealth.com. But check out also the podcast that you've launched. Doctors, thanks so much for being part of Brain Training.